Today I'm going to talk about body count and why it doesn't matter. So there's a lot of social stigma when it comes to a woman's body count. And I can understand why people think that way, but a lot of it is unwarranted, and I think it shames women a lot for being sluts. And we shouldn't be shaming women for being sluts, because us men, we like to be sluts. And if we're shaming women for being sluts, then that means they're not going to want to sleep with us, or they're going to want to sleep with us a lot less than if we didn't shame them. Before I talk more about body count, I'm just going to remove the negative connotation on the word slut. It isn't something bad. Someone who wants to sleep around, who's promiscuous, who has a high sex drive, why is that a bad thing in any way? The only bad thing that could result from that, if you're a woman, is getting pregnant, because you don't want to have to take care of multiple kids or one kid. Even one kid is probably too much. And there's many reasons for that, why you don't want to have kids, and that's a topic for a whole nother video. But if you're a guy and you like sex and you like sleeping around a lot, be a responsible motherfucker and get that vasectomy, bro. Women are going to appreciate it too, because they don't have to deal with the consequences of getting pregnant and having to raise a kid. That is some heavy shit. So just take care of that and it's all good. That's the only problem that there could be with being promiscuous, is birth control not being sorted. So yeah, let's clear it up. Us men, we are the real sluts. If we had the power that women have to have sex so easily, we would be abusing it. Let's be honest. Women are actually much more discerning about who they sleep with, much more fussy about who they sleep with. So that's why a woman's body count is never really that high, because a woman gets hit up all the motherfucking time. She's got so many dudes in her inbox that are interested in her if she's on social media and advertising what she's got. Advertising what you got is simply taking selfies and putting it out there, or making videos, talking about certain topics. That's also advertising what you've got. And women do this on social media. They take a lot of photos of themselves, especially if they're more on the prettier side. They're going to be more confident and want to take more photos of themselves. So nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that women have a lot more options than the average man. And because they're so fussy, their body count can never really be that high, because they're getting hollered at in real life, getting hit up on social media hundreds, if not thousands of times more than us guys do. And because of that, their body count as a ratio of being approached, having guys put in their orbit to what they actually sleep with, is much lower than us guys. I mean, fuck, most of us average guys, or even slightly above average guys, the first opportunity they get, they're going to sleep with that fucking woman. Fuck standards. There's no standards. If there's an opportunity, it's going to happen. Doesn't matter if she's fat or whatever. The guy's going to hop on that. So, if anything, it's the guy who's the real slut, and not the woman. Now, I'm going to talk about something that isn't often talked about, and that's the real reason why all of this slut shaming is happening towards women from men. The real reason is that men are jealous that women can sleep around so easily, and they can't. Men are jealous that they have to put in work on themselves to become the type of man that women want. And all a woman has to do is be born, and she's already the type of woman that most men want. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's jealousy, and that comes from insecurity. So when a man has put in the work on himself, he's gonna encourage women to sleep around, because he knows that he is one of the people that are contributing to that body count. And then, of course, there's religion that holds women back from sleeping around. You know, no sex before marriage, that type of shit. And I don't encourage anyone to get stuck in religious thought, because these things were created as a box for consciousness. And no one wants, if you really care about freedom and living life on your own terms, then you don't want to put yourself in a box for consciousness. And religions don't even have to just be the traditional cultural religions. There's many other religions like authority and money. But again, that's a topic for another video. Another excuse that a lot of guys, especially in the red pill community, like to use to shame a woman for her higher body count or high body count is pair bonding. And this is absolute nonsense, because a woman can have a high body count and still be able to pair bond just fine. It just depends on what category she puts you in. Are you in the boyfriend category, or are you in the casual hookup category? If you're in the boyfriend category and you are doing things right and you make her feel head over heels in love with you, then she's going to pair bond just fine. Of course, she can have trauma from the past and bad experiences with previous relationships that can make her more hesitant to pair bond with you, but it's got nothing to do with the body count that she's had. So as long as you're doing things right, pair bonding will happen just fine. And I can say this from personal experience, because my woman of 6.5 years now, she's actually my wife, she can pair bond just fine with me, and it actually makes me quite nervous that she's not into fucking any other guys. Like, it's not healthy for a woman to be so attached to just one guy. So, and she's had a high body count, so what people in the Western world would consider a high body count, she can pair bond just fine. Another interesting thing relating to body count is respect. Now, a woman isn't going to necessarily be respected for her high body count, because she didn't have to put in work into achieving that high body count other than saying yes to men's advances. Whereas a man had to put in a lot of work on himself to become a better human being and undo the social programming that was put into his head from a young age, and learn game and learn how to be more masculine and all of these things in order to have sex with more women. So because of this, a man is naturally going to earn that respect. However, just because a woman isn't respected for her high body count, I mean, fuck. Society standards for high body count, it's silly, man. Let's just get rid of that. There is no fucking high body count for a woman. She doesn't have to be disrespected because she has a so-called high body count. And the good news is she can earn respect in many other ways by working on herself. There is one benefit to a woman having a high body count that I'm sure many of us men will appreciate. And that is that she's going to be way more likely to be a good sexual partner to us. She's going to have the skills, bro. Skills that pay the bills. Okay, she doesn't have to get OnlyFans and do it professionally. I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying. She's going to be able to please you in bed, more, or at least be more likely to. So if her sexual past doesn't matter, if her body count doesn't matter, what does? What matters is that she is submissive, follows your lead, and gets on your program. If she does these things, if she sees you as her god, then she's a keeper. If she doesn't, then she's a street sweeper. And lastly, don't count the bodies, make the bodies count.